Now it's time for Believe in the ACC with our starting lineup. From Florida State, number 17, Charlie Ward. From Morehead State University, number 50, Lloyd Span. And from Murray State University, number 2, Kendrick Haskett. Get ready for the best sports show about the ACC in all the land. Believe in the ACC starts now. Well, all right.
Makes me want to do the Cliff Hustle.
I like the Cliff Hustle. I am a fan. Well, we are off to a start, aren't we?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. We are glad to be here with you. This is the great Kendrick Haskins. I'm Lloyd Spence. This is Believe in the ACC. We are...
It's the great Lloyd Spence.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. This is our new normal right now because our brother is traveling and going places and building teams out here.
He's out recruiting.
He's recruiting and trying to bring the world together under a green and orange banner.
Make it Rattler World.
Make it Rattler World. He built it Rattler World. I don't know why I came off Chris Rock just did. I don't know what that was about.
I don't know where that came from, but that's
really it. And it was a collective. It was like a collective. Like we just both channeled our inner Chris Rock right there. I don't know what that was about.
I've been watching a lot of Everybody Hates Chris.
That's what it is. And so I just piggybacked on what you was doing. It felt right. So weirdly, I've been watching a lot of Spin City.
Come on. I like
it's actually,
I didn't know you could find it.
It's on YouTube. I found it on YouTube. I was like, Spin City. I love Spin City. So I've been binge watching Spin City. I don't know why, but I love Spin City. I am a fan.
A great show. Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah. I'm a Michael J. Fox fan, period. It's not much that he's done that I didn't like. Like I am a Michael J. Fox fan. So I'm a rock with that dude to the end. I'm all Michael J. Fox all the time. Okay, I don't know how we got to this, but this is when you get Kendrick and Lloyd, this is happening. Okay, right. I don't even want y'all to be surprised. For those of you who are new to the show, if you ain't seen nothing yet, it gets worse. But you're gonna laugh. You're gonna have a good time. That's what we do here.
We need Charlie to keep us under control.
And since he's not here. It's like I was gonna say, it's like a substitute teacher being in the room. Good luck, teach. Okay. Listen, we got a great show for you. We got a lot to cover. We got to review what happened. We got to tell you what we think is gonna happen. Let's get to it. Let's get right to it. This was a very interesting first week of football in college football, and specifically the ACC. And if I had to say, the ACC came out looking pretty good. Yeah. ACC had a good week.
The ACC, except for one team in the ACC.
Except for one team, but I wasn't surprised. Others might be, but I was not. And we'll get into that here in just a second. But let's go through the scores on Thursday. No shocks here. Well, kind of.
I knew that was going to be a close game.
I was going to say, this might tell you everything you need to know about NC State this year. Like, they're about what they've always been, and it's going to be probably a long season.
Shout out to the Hodge brothers on East Carolina. They both from Louisville.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, they kind of East Carolina kind of made an announcement this past weekend. Like, we coming. We're not there, but we are coming.
Yeah, those Hodge brothers, they both played. They played at Christian Academy. They're a year apart. If they can get them to stay together, there, they got something. They're building something there.
It's all about the cash.
Yes.
Can you get the cash?
I know
You can get the cash.
I know
You can get the
kids
kid.
I know kids who have already committed to schools that are still in high school that are going to prep school, so by the time they get to their freshman year, they're ready to go.
Cash should be there. Oh well, listen, but here's what's interesting though with what you just said, and I go back to the same statement I just made. And I'm being facetious, but I'm not actually. If you got the cash, you can get the kid. Like the on paper ESPN number one player in the nation basketball wise is playing at BYU.
Right. But at least
You know why? They got the cash.
At least he's from Utah. You can at least make that argument.
I mean, okay, but let's keep it a gangster. Now, part of it might have been, I just want to play for home and put the okay, all right, but also BYU had the cash. Somehow they came up with the cash. Right. Shout out to probably who's a great BYU alum. I was thinking it's somebody big. It's somebody famous.
It's a bunch of Jim McMahon, Steve Young.
Steve Young is probably
basketball wise. Danny Ainge, basketball wise, I couldn't think of anything.
There was nobody basketball wise. I was thinking football. I was thinking the great Steve Young might have wrote a check or at least called in some favors.
Well, Danny Ainge is there in Utah.
Well, that's true. That's true. He may have called in some favors as well. Okay, Elon. No shot against Duke. Well, I don't know. I take that back. Elon
got musked.
I see what you did. It's gonna be a long show. I can see it already. If you're not prepared for this, that's your fault. Okay. Duke ran away with this one. Friday night is when it started getting interesting because Georgia Tech went into Folsom Stadium and said, "We are not TCU."
TCU.
You're not.
Carolina said they're not TCU either.
Right. A lot of teams they made a very clear statement, and also I'm trying to understand how Colorado has had. Now I'm gonna start Deion out a little bit because he hadn't been there because of health reasons. So maybe the overall arching message has not had time to sink in like it did last year. Because Colorado did not look as prepared for this game as they looked for the game last year. Also, two big pieces were not on the field. What were your first impressions of the quarterback for Colorado, the one they decided to go with to transfer, Caden Salter? What was your first impression of him?
I'll be honest, I had the game on, but I was not kind of in and out on it because it was high school football Friday night. What I did see, I mean, it's when you're replacing somebody that meant as much to the offense as Shadur did, and you realize how much Shadur made happen with an offensive line that's still mediocre, maybe to average at best. Like he did a lot. So to replace that with a new quarterback who's transferring in, I think it was the right move to put the veteran quarterback in there for the first game.
At least to start, yeah.
Yeah, eventually the freshman's going to get in there, but I mean, I was impressed with Haynes King. Most of what I saw was Georgia Tech on offense, and I thought Haynes King looked pretty good.
My actual takeaway was that Haynes was Haynes. I mean, he's been around in college football for like 19 years.
Yeah, he's been there since Deion was at Florida State.
Right, so he knows how to play the position. So, I mean, he's never going to be a great thrower of the football. His skill, his true skill is running the football. He's Taysom Hill, essentially.
Yeah.
And evidenced as the 19 carries for 156 yards. He is the running back, and so
he's
he did
that quarterback.
Yeah, he did Haynes King's thing. So I'm not even that surprised by the victory. Because if you're a Big 12 fan and a Colorado fan, I'd be concerned because you let a running quarterback do that to you. 156 yards is a lot of yards and 3 touchdowns. So
Hey, Georgia Tech was picked 4th in the ACC.
Well, we'll have to have a conversation about that too. When you say something that really threw me, didn't it? When you say a team that only that is really very one dimensional is the fourth best team in the ACC, either you're saying that kid is really dynamic or the defense in the ACC are really bad. And I don't know if that's true on either side. So we'll see. Yeah. Wake Forest is going to be bad this year.
Yes, they are.
They're going to be bad this year. And I know that because Kennesaw State almost beat them by scoring.
In their second year of existence. In
their second year of existence, Kennesaw State was like, we got a shot. And by the way, the most glaring stat from the game is that no one scored in the fourth quarter. No one. Can you imagine having to cover that game? My God in heaven. Okay.
Oh, my goodness. You deserve hazard pay.
My goodness. Okay. Let's get into the one that everybody was talking about starting on Saturday. LSU goes into Clemson, watches them run down the hill and says, we don't care.
Yeah, because the score could have been worse than that because that Berrien Brown touchdown was a touchdown.
It was a Listen, I love Charlie. I love him. And I was hoping he'd be here so he could defend himself about this. Because if you look at our group chat, he was like, no, man, no. That was a touchdown all day, every day, and twice on Saturday and Sunday. But nevertheless, didn't matter. LSU was able to win this game. Now, let's get into, we're going to add something to our show called What Happens?
It's spicy.
Yeah. When we get into these controversial wins or wins we didn't see coming, we go, what happened? So we're going to talk about what happened. For me, and you guys are on my neck about this every year, but I'm
laying out. I'm laying out because I know where this is going.
There's no evidence of me being wrong yet. To me, Cade Klubnik is a Haynes King upgrade. He can run the ball.
He don't run the ball as well as
he don't run it as well as Haynes, but his X factor is his ability to scramble and run when needed and necessary. That's his X factor. But as a thrower of the ball, he's all right. And I hear people saying, "Oh, some people that it's interesting to me because Kendrick and I have been doing this a long time, as evidenced by our other show, The Press and Pros, and so we've seen a lot, we've heard a lot, we understand the rhetoric that maybe most fans don't understand, and there is a Cade Klubnik fan base in the media that wants to celebrate him as this lauded. He's ready, he's this. That's why Clemson is in a lot of national championship conversations. And I get it. Clemson is a brand. College football needs a villain. Clemson has played that role very well over the years. They are the villain to the SEC. They're the spoiler that comes in and steals the SEC's thunder. I get all of that. But there's also a reality that comes along with this conversation. And the reality is, Cade Klubnik's okay. He's okay. He's not dynamic. He's okay. And he was just okay in this game. 19 to 38. I think he rushed for he didn't even rush well this time, which is maybe the reason why they lost the game.
Yeah, he didn't run that much in the game.
Yeah, he didn't run that much. But that may be more about what LSU's defense did than, what Clemson schemed, because there were not a lot of lanes in that game for him to take off. LSU's defense was very, very sound. And I know Garrett Nussmeier go get all the headlines, 232 yards, passing, threw for a touchdown. I get it. But the LSU defense is for real. And also, Nussmeier will not beat himself. That's the thing I take away from him. But that's why I thought LSU won that game. And they didn't blink. I thought they were going to blink, but they didn't blink this time. That was important as well. What were your thoughts?
I agree with you, especially on the Nussmeier part. He came out there, he game managed, and that was what they needed in that situation. on the road in a crazy environment like Death Valley. With Klubnik, I'm with you for the most part on that one. You and I have gone back and forth over it over the years. I think part of it too is when a quarterback comes in because I think he was a 5-star coming in.
He was.
People are not going to back off at that point.
Right.
No matter what happens, they're gonna keep justifying why he was a 5-star coming in.
100%. 100%.
And you're gonna see a lot of that with Arch too. And so but he's been fine. He's been okay. I also chalk it up to a lot of Clemson doesn't have the weapons around him like Clemson has had in the past too. See, Dabo finally went into the transfer portal this offseason, but still there's not a DeAndre Hopkins out there. There's not game breakers out there that you're used to seeing Clemson have. What was the running back that they used to have? He's not out there anymore.
Yeah, Maffa and they don't have those guys.
Haven't replaced. They're still okay on defense, but offensively, Klubnik doesn't have the weapons around him. So I do give him that much of a benefit of the doubt.
100%.
But at the same time, he's been there long enough to where he's supposed to be making everyone else better.
They're gonna have some challenges this year. Mm-hmm. They don't have their running game is not good. Collectively they ran for 31 yards.
Right. That's
an issue. Got to be able to run the ball.
I mean, that's how beat them last year.
Yeah, and if we're being honest, I'm just saying, shout out to the great Marcus Maven is in the building.
My man Marcus.
Marcus, you got to come through, brother. You got to come through. We love some Marcus Maven over here.
You just set me up for failure because he's gonna be getting on me next time I see him.
I do. But I love Marcus. That's my thing.
That's my guy.
Yeah, I love Marcus. That's my guy. But yeah, I just believe this is a situation where Clemson's going to have to figure out how to manufacture a running game, and it's probably going to have to come in the form of more bubble screens, more designed quarterback runs. Yeah, they're going to have to figure out how to make that work, because if they don't, man, I just don't think. I think their national championship hopes are gonna disappear relatively quickly. Now they got a great schedule, as always.
I say outside of having to come here.
Yeah, I think the schedule, if I'm not mistaken, and normally we do a schedule show, and this year we just didn't have time to do it. But normally, like they got Troy, now Georgia Tech game could be interesting. That could be interesting because that's at Georgia Tech. That could be interesting.
Yeah,
that could be very interesting. But they got Syracuse, they got North Carolina, they got BC. Those games should be, even though two of them are on the road.
Home against SMU should be good.
That'll be good because that could be an upset. If I'm being honest, SMU is going to bring pose a challenge.
That's a tough stretch they have there. SMU, Duke, Florida State, and at Louisville.
Yeah, that's where it gets interesting. Well, the first half of their season is
it's nothing.
Manageable, I think.
It's nothing.
But that back half gets interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, that back half gets interesting. So I'm curious to see how. Now, they should rebound tremendously well this week. We'll get into that here in just a minute. But it's going to be, they got to figure out that running game situation and relatively quickly, or a lot of those dreams are going to go away relatively fast. Okay. To the surprise of no one, Tennessee handled business against Syracuse. But there was one surprise. There was one surprise.
Well, one of the surprises is Syracuse was in that game until late.
They were
a couple late touchdowns.
Which that's typical Syracuse. They're gonna be good. They're just not great away from Syracuse. Mm-hmm. And they got to figure out why. They got to figure out the why of that. So that was interesting. But what was also interesting is that I think they got better quarterback play, Tennessee, from Aguilar. And ironically, the quarterback that left, who tried to hold them up for millions and millions of dollars, was awful in his new situation in UCLA.
Yeah.
He was awful. And I think that UCLA Utah game announced that they're going to have a long season.
It's just going to be a continuation because UCLA football is.
Oh my God, it's bad. There was
no sense in the area to be bad at football.
That's the thing I don't understand either, because just right down the street at USC, who is recruiting from the exact same base, they're doing fine. But for some reason, UCLA can't buy a player. I don't know what's going. Literally, can't buy a player. So, well, yeah, that's true, man. Jesus, man, yes, that's true. Okay, I went into a Quincy Jones / Bill Cosby there. That was weird. Okay, so yeah, that was interesting from that game. That was my takeaway from that game. Pitt over Duquesne. Duquesne for like a half a second in the first quarter was like, yeah. And it was it wasn't even a score. It was just like a drive. They were like, yeah. And then Pittsburgh was like, settle down. And then the wheels came completely off. Fordham showed up and played Boston College, and then they went home.
And picked up a check.
Picked up the check and went home, as did EKU. Although EKU showed you why on the FCS level, they could be interesting. There were some interesting things that happened in that game for them. I'm talking about after the first team unit went and sat down, like, because the second and third team of U of L is probably because they haven't had as much experience. They're FCS-ish.
They move the ball.
They move the ball. That's all I'm saying.
I'm talking about the Louisville's third string. They were moving the ball in EKU too, and EKU. That boy quarterback, whatever that check was for Eastern to play U of L, he deserves a portion of it because he was just getting blown up. As soon as he hiked, anytime they was in a passing situation, he was getting sacked. And so I don't know what that check was.
What is your takeaway from Louisville's defense? I know it's EKU. But what did you see anything that resembled last year's defense in this year's defense?
Well, last year's defense was weird because they would have games where they look really, really good, and then they have games that really look like they didn't know what they were doing.
Right.
If listening to them and coming out of camp, it feels like they have better chemistry this year coming into the season. Replacing Ashton Gelati is not going to be very easy.
Right.
He's getting a lot of hype at the Chiefs already.
Yeah, they love him. They love him.
Yeah, and so they show they could get. They got a lot of pressure on the quarterback. So we'll see on Friday. They play James Madison Friday night. James Madison's a good team. They got a quarterback who's mobile and can throw the ball. And so we'll learn. I think we're gonna learn because they're a double-digit favorite in that game. But I'm like, I don't know about that because James Madison is always tough.
I think what was interesting to me about the defense, as much as you can take away from a game like that, there was some speed that I didn't expect. I was like, okay. Now, I don't know if that translates to a better opponent, but in this game, there was some speed in some places that I wasn't expecting. So we'll see. I don't want to start calling attention to specific places yet because it's not fair yet because I don't really know. One thing about this whole entire week one, and I think this is the overarching theme of all of it, even though I know we live in a world of hot take. On our shows, we try to live in a world of reality. And the reality is, I don't know if we learned anything about any team in week one of any college team at all. Like, there were some good moments on a lot of teams, but does anybody really believe Ohio State is the number one team in the nation? Not really. Their quarterback was okay. He was better than the other guy.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's part of this season too, though. Like, it seems like every team is breaking in a new quarterback. Like Georgia Tech feels like
it is.
SMU feel like they're the only ones returning their quarterbacks, and so
and early that's going to be an advantage. By the way, that will be an advantage because the continuity will be there. But there's nobody. I don't know if any team to me. There are some teams that had impressive wins, but there's no team that to me looked dominant. And so I'm not ready to call anyone. I wish we could get to a place where we don't have rankings until October 1st.
I know.
That's when you need a ranking, because by then you know.
Yeah, and it's never going to happen. But
no, it's never going to happen. But that's what I would like.
One thing we did discover, we realized was reaffirmed to us that Isaac Brown and Colin Lacey are going to be problems no matter who they're playing.
Let me do this and give what you just said the respect it is due. I don't understand yet why Louisville's running. Am I the one that's not understanding what I'm seeing? Because that running game looks insanely good. Isaac, Duke, Colin, they look like they're about to go on a tear.
Well, the thing, because like with Colin, he's one of those. Put him anywhere. They put him all over the place. And he had that punt return for a touchdown. He has some great catches. And then the lost man in all of the discussion is Kiwan.
It's Kiwan, yeah.
And he's a heck of a running back too. I mean, that running back room is insane right now. And Colin Lacey's is everywhere.
If you want to know how good they are, or that they're becoming, go look at the second touchdown for Isaac Brown. How fast he put, I think it was his left foot, how fast he put his left foot in the ground and hit the hole.
Yeah.
And then dipped his shoulder just ever so slightly and was gone. I was like, oh man, that's impressive.
And you'd be amazed if you saw him in person how small he is. He's tiny.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's tiny.
Is he the next CJ Spiller or
he's not as big as CJ Spiller
or Leon or Shady McCoy?
He's not as big as those guys.
He's not as big as those guys?
No. He's
what would you
Jordan size.
Listen, if you got the speed to go along with it, there's a place for you in the NFL. Because that's an interesting. So the irony of height in the NFL is that sometimes the lack of it combined with speed works in your favor. Because it's hard to find you.
It's hard to find them when they get behind.
It's hard to find you when right. Yeah. And he is, whoa, man, he puts that foot down. That joker is gone. So anyway, this so and there are others on that team that are exactly like him. So I don't even know how good the receiving core is because I don't know. I don't know how you.
Colin Lacey and Chris Bell. Yeah.
I feel like you could put them in a 12 package all game long and throw bubble screens and short fades and they would destroy you. Like they're gonna be an interesting team. They really are gonna be an interesting team.
They have a question mark at tight end, but outside of that,
they have maybe a massive one. I don't know. Yeah, maybe a massive one because I didn't really see anybody. But that's the first game, so I'm gonna stall them out. But I didn't see anybody distinguish themselves yet at that position. So you're right. Virginia had a good day.
Yeah,
had a good day. I think is his name Cam Ross. I think that's their new wide receiver or returning wide receiver. But at any rate, he had 124 yards catching on 7 receptions. That's a good day.
That is a pretty good game.
That's a pretty good day. Chandler Morris had a solid day, 19-27, 264 yards. It was a good day.
Especially against an East Coastal Carolina team that's been good in the past, really been good over the last.
Who's been decent? Absolutely.
But, I mean, they just rolled right over them.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever. We will double back to this later if Charlie jumps on. He's going to try to jump on if he can, but we want to deal with this now. There's an old saying, and I believe the first time I heard it really well articulated was through the prophet and evangelist T.I. He said, it ain't tricking if you got it. But what's interesting about this for us who are media followers of the ACC and have been following these players for quite some time now is that this is a tricky game to evaluate in this regard. Yes, Florida State beat Alabama. Yes, Thomas Castellanos, and it's Castellanos. If I hear one more person say it's Castellanos, my God. Do you not understand Spanish? It's Castellanos. The L's are silent. Okay, let's move on. It's very frustrating, Kendrick. I'm just telling you. That man called a shot.
He did.
And he called it early.
Yeah.
He called it early.
Nick
like
Saban was mad.
He said Nick Saban was like, well, we'll see. Yes, we will.
Yeah. We saw.
And we saw. I don't think they want Ty Simpson throwing 43 times in a game. That seems like a lot.
That's not Alabama at any point in history.
Well, that's the interesting part about that game. Nothing about what they did on the field was Alabama-esque.
No.
We saw it at the same time.
Yeah.
Nothing about that game was Alabama-esque. It was very, very confusing. And I think we all watched it going, is Florida State this good? Or is Alabama this bad? I'm going to be honest with you. I spent the entire game thinking to myself, what am I watching? What is this? Like, what? I was so confused about Alabama's everything. Like, I didn't get it. I did not get it at all, Kendrick. And here's what makes it even more realistic of why I didn't get it. The numbers say that this shouldn't have happened. Castellanos gave you a Castellanos game. These numbers don't look any different than when he was at Boston College. 9 of 14, 152 yards passing, 78 yards rushing. That's the game that he has, that he's always had. And yet, they put up 31 points against Alabama.
Hitting deep balls on them.
You're an astute sports aficionado. You've been doing this for years. Explain.
I think it's Kellen DeBoer is his style. I mean, when they hired Kellen DeBoer, I was like, yeah, he's a great coach, but his style of play did not match what Alabama has done. It felt like they went in a totally different direction from Nick Saban. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's successful and he's been a successful coach, and I think he's going to be successful in his next job because I don't know how much longer Alabama fans are going to tolerate what's been going on these couple of seasons. But the physicality that you're used to seeing from Alabama just hasn't been there since he's been there. And I don't know how you fix that when that's not really your style in the first place. At Washington, those teams are built more on speed than so much being physical. And the SEC and at Alabama, they're more about being physical.
You said a mouthful just there, man. I listen. I want to believe that this is. I just don't. Alabama was awful. They were awful. There was nothing about that game and the way they played it that said we are a contender. Like they're not.
Yeah,
8 is
doesn't feel like they believe it.
They don't. They played like they don't believe that. I don't know what's happening there, but first of all, let me say this, and I mean this in no disrespect, but yet this is just the reality. And I'm gonna look right in the camera when I say this.
Uh-oh.
You are never supposed to be the next guy after the guy.
Yeah.
That's your real mistake, Coach DeBoer. Never be the guy after the guy. That's just stupid. I wouldn't have done that at all. Unless you are a guy yourself. And with all due respect, I appreciate that you took Washington to I think it was a national championship. They played in a national championship. So I appreciate that. That's impressive in its own right because it's hard to get there. But taking someone to a national championship, ironically, Cam Newton said this, and I 1,000% agree with him. He said, that's great what you did at Washington, but this ain't Washington.
Right. Exactly
there are levels to this. And if you're not prepared to jump up significantly in level, you know what this reminds me of? This is Charlie Strong in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is a very similar scenario but the thing is, though, Charlie's style of play was similar to what they used to in Texas.
It was.
Or it's like a complete 180 for Alabama.
But it's the other stuff that Charlie didn't understand, because he thought he was going to be able to go to Texas and actually coach, and you're not the head coach at Texas. You're the figurehead of the football team, which is what Sarkisian is finding out now. Which everybody's blaming him for that game plan. I'm like, I'm almost 100% sure he didn't put that game plan together for Arch Manning. I know Texas football. He probably had some input on the offensive scheming, but that man was in interviews and booster meetings and shaking hands and going to dinners with Matthew McConaughey. By the time he got to Saturday, it was like, oh, that's right, I got to be out here to coach. Like,
a lot of, because I've seen a lot of people come down on Arch and all of that stuff, and I'm like, you do realize this dude's making his first start at the defending national champions, who's number 3 in the country. I mean,
right?
Take that too in an account, and they're going to be Ohio State is going to be good. I do think they're the number 1 team in the country right now, just because
you do. I mean,
from what we've seen, and that was the best matchup of the weekend, and so yeah, I mean, you have to give it to them because they're the ones who played somebody this weekend. So,
well,
as speaking of that, this weekend's slate of football games, they just need not play this week.
It's we're a ways away from weekly competitive college football. Like, let's just be very clear.
We got an appetizer in week 1, but.
And a little bit of one this week, a little bit, but not much. Like, it's the rest of the games are slated. It's brutal.
There's a reason Ole Miss at Kentucky is a 3:30 game.
Exactly. Let me say this a little bit more about the FSU game. I don't know what to take from it, because FSU wasn't flawless.
No, there was a lot of FSU stuff still in there.
Yeah, but it was better. It was better. I hate to. I'm not trying to make FSU fans mad today. I'm just trying to call it like I saw it. Alabama was just really bad. Like, they were really, really. It was bad. There was no intensity. There was no sense of purpose or understanding the moment. They didn't give an extra effort, which is crazy to think about an Alabama team not giving effort. But there were plenty of times where guys were running and you'd see Alabama guys kind of just,
easing up a little bit.
And I'm like, it was very shocking.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what I saw. But I'm happy FSU won, especially for the ACC. I'm thrilled that they won because that shuts down a lot of conversations about how the mighty SEC and all that stuff. So that was cool. But I don't know what happened.
It did shut it down, but it didn't, because at the same time.
True. That's true.
I mean, Florida State shot all the way up to number 14 just because they beat Alabama.
which made no sense whatsoever. Like, you're like, what? And by the way, by the end of the year, that win may not look like anything. If that Alabama team shows up weekly, that win looks like nothing. And we don't know.
I think they'll improve, and I still think they're going to be right there at the end of the season in the SEC. Alabama will be, but at the beginning of the season, when you're basing on what happened last season.
What's their schedule? I'm just out of pure curiosity. Yeah, it's crazy. That part's crazy. They got some games coming, man. Wisconsin, Georgia on.
Danny Anthony for Wisconsin.
And then after that, they got Vandy, which isn't a lock anymore.
Right.
It's not a lock anymore.
That's going to be a revenge game, though, in Alabama. So.
Right now, based on what you saw this weekend, would you favor them in Missouri? At Missouri?
Yes.
But not in a blowout, like it'd be a slight,
a tight game.
Tennessee, they got Tennessee at home, so maybe because Tennessee doesn't travel well. Right, they don't travel well.
Starts to fizzle.
But I don't think they can beat. I don't think they can beat South Carolina.
I don't know if they can beat LSU at home.
I don't think they can beat. I'm almost confident they can't beat LSU even at home. Like
and Oklahoma's overrated. So
I'm very well. We're gonna get into that a little bit too later because I'm curious about them as well. Okay, but it's gonna be a long season for Alabama. I think. You said they may be there. I don't know. We'll see. East Texas A&M, which is fun to say because it sounds like made up.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like a school in a movie that they couldn't get licensing for a real school, so they just made
like the program. Remember the movie The Program? That's what it sounds like. One of the teams for the program.
Yes.
But they were no match for the mighty SMU. So not a lot to take from that one. This one shocked me a little bit because I thought Oregon State would be better.
I did too.
They were not.
Yeah, that one shocked.
They were not. California showed up as they say in the church. They showed up and showed out.
But California is kind of strange because they lost a bunch of close games last year.
They did.
I think they're a little bit better than people give them credit for.
Well, I guess the thing that I was surprised about, their quarterback is in Indiana. And so I thought they've got to take a step back. But and by the way, I'm not even going. Normally, I am as bold in my attempts to pronounce a name as anyone in the media. But this kid, I have no idea where to start with the pronunciation of his name. It's like 17 letters, and I don't even know where to begin. So let's just say Jerron for now. Jerron had a good day. 20 of 30, 234 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He had a really, really good day. So Malik Murphy.
Was he there last year?
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think, is that the same Malik Murphy that was at Liberty?
Let's look.
Wasn't there a Malik Murphy that was at Liberty University? Am I wrong about that?
It wasn't him apparently.
Okay, this kid, I've seen his name before. I don't believe he was.
There are a few Malik Murphys.
There's a lot of Malik Murphys out there now. Okay, all right.
Well, he was at Cal last year.
He was at Cal last year?
Yeah.
No, Oregon State. I mean, yeah.
Oregon State last year.
Okay, maybe that's where I know the name. I don't know, but the name threw me there for a second. All right, but anyway, yeah, Cal's quarterback. I have no idea how to pronounce it. At some point in the season, I will pronounce it, but not right now. I don't know where to even begin. So we'll just.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Keep saying, I don't. I wanted to help you, but no, I got nothing. Okay, so that was Saturday. Sunday got interesting real fast. Mm-hmm. Was it as bad as last year's loss to Northern Illinois?
No, it's not even the same realm.
Right.
It was just a good game. It was just a good game on Sunday night.
It was. It was a very good game, very entertaining, very competitive.
The player I was most impressed by was Reuben Bain.
Oh, okay.
He is a problem. There's no earthly reason why he should have been in the vicinity to get that interception. And this big man flew off somebody's foot and went 20 feet in the air when he caught it.
Yeah. That was a crazy play.
Defensive lineman running over there and making that catch. And he was everywhere all night. He's been like that since he's been at Miami. That guy, if he's not a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, I don't know who is.
Well, listen, he will be, and that will be his draft day video right there because That's a heck of a play. And just to even have the wherewithal to be in the area, that's a heads up play. What were your Carson Beck thoughts? Because I know a lot of people were shouting his name this weekend. What were your thoughts on Carson Beck?
I thought he did okay. He was pretty good. He showed some flashes. I would like to see him Notre Dame pressure him more. I don't feel like they got enough pressure on him in the game, but he made the plays. I mean, the touchdown pass, the one-handed touchdown pass. I'm not going to give him credit for that because that was straight at the safety, and the receiver made an unbelievable catch with that one catch. But other than that, for a debut game with all things he's been through between the end of the year at Georgia when his arm got mangled, I'm surprised he's even able to play again, to be honest with you. From all of that to moving to Miami and everything, all the stuff that's been in the media about him, all the craziness surrounding him, I think he came out and had a solid performance for his first game.
Did he? I don't know. I don't want to get too deep in his personal thing, but I feel like he's in a relationship with like one of the twins.
They broke up, and
they did break up. I knew something had happened in a relationship or something. So he's been through it. He's been through a lot.
He got his Lamborghini stolen.
I did hear about that. That's weird. That was weird as well. But it's Miami, dude. Lock your doors. So yeah, I agree with your assessment. I thought he was better than what I remember him being toward the end of the year last year at Georgia. We'll see, because I don't know what we're looking. I don't know what the defense at Notre Dame was not nearly as aggressive as I think it has been in the past, like you said. And so I don't know what to think about any of that, but we'll get to it. Listen, before we go on to the last couple of games, we got to give it up to Charlie Ward, who is live from, I guess, the airport. So good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Sorry about the technicals this morning. Got to give you a chance for your victory lap. What were your thoughts about your beloved Seminoles?
Go
Noles.
Let me guess, you want them flying under the radar again.
Yes, we had a good week. We had a good week, and we're going to just leave it at that. They did play well. Home game, first game, but as we've seen this song and dance before, not just with the Seminoles, but it's about progressing each and every week. And a lot of times we're happy and excited about, this is every team, where you are or where you're not. We're all kind of looking to see how things are going to play out. So week 2 is normally a good indicator of where the team is heading or progressing, because if you didn't have a good first week, you have a chance to come back the second week and prove that it was a fluke. And as we've seen, in the years leading up to this, where teams who have been in the top 10, a la Florida State last year, can fall out from one loss, one close loss, and then it starts to snowball because either there wasn't a favorable schedule in the sense of games like we currently have now, where we play East Texas State and Kent State, back to back. But last year, we played Georgia Tech, and then we had some other tougher games. Tougher meaning, Power 4 opponents that we had to play right afterwards. And so there was really no break in the schedule where you could find a win here or there, get your feet back underneath you, get your personnel right. Of course, that was last year's issue. With more personnel and leadership. But we'll see. We had a good week, against Alabama, and it's just been funny to see how people have just crucified Alabama after their loss
Mhm.
and the whole deal. And I'm just interested to see how they bounce back because it could go either way for them. Very similar to how we did it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's going to be favorable for Coach DeBoer if they do what the Seminoles did
No,
last year.
he has no shot to survive that. But I do want to ask you this, Charlie. Were you surprised at the Alabama team that you saw? Because I do believe Florida State played a better game. Let's keep that clear. But I was also very surprised at the Alabama team that showed up.
Man, in these first games, you never know. That's what
That's
I'm
true.
going to try to. You never know what you're going to have because you've been practicing against yourself the whole time,
Yeah.
and you don't know how they're going to show up. And plus, playing on the road, tough environment. Most of these first games, when they're two tough opponents, let's say, you normally playing in a neutral site.
Mhm.
And those neutral site games can go either way, as we've seen.
Yeah.
But when you're playing a tough game on the road, there's a lot of Texas going on the road to Ohio State. Those are not easy games, like
Right.
to win on the road.
Mhm.
So I just think it's something that more teams I think are looking at doing when it comes to home and home opponents. But some are still doing the neutral site games, which those games go either way
Yeah.
as well. But I say surprise. They had a new quarterback. He doesn't have many starts underneath his belt. I thought he did okay. He wasn't like the reason they lost. I was really surprised that their offensive line. That kind of surprised me that we were able to stop the run, one, and two,
Yeah.
pressure on the quarterback in moments, with moments. And then Ryan, what's his name, the wide receiver,
Oh,
number 2.
Yeah, he was quiet most of the game.
yeah, they didn't. It was like I said, it was a strange game. Like, yeah, Ryan Williams, he had 5 catches, but it was like 30 yards. Like, it wasn't.
Right. Yeah,
And I think one of them was like an 11-yard catch or something. Like, it was a weird game. I just.
Charlie, am I wrong? It felt like they were kind of using him as a possession guy and not the big play guy.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure he had special attention.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can say that. And they were going to allow silent. I don't know if they really allowed number 5 to get open. I mean, he was getting open
Jerry Bernard. Yeah.
for me. Just running wide open. But it looked like they were using Ryan Williams as a decoy, but they weren't giving him those opportunities to get open.
No, not at all.
I'm sure they had somebody over the top everywhere he went.
And they also hit him.
Yeah.
When he caught the ball. That plays a big part. Now, Earl Little, he's a missile.
Mhm.
He's been that way ever since I've seen him play. He's a missile, and he comes in full speed, and his whole mission is to try to, deter people from just running freely when the ball is coming their way.
First of all, that is a very well stated way of saying that he's an assassin on the field. His whole mission is to deter people. That's funny. We used to call that separate man from ball, but but you're 1,000% correct. Earl had a day. I think he had like 9 tackles. He had a really good day. Yeah, he was all over the place. So let's get into.
We got to ask about Castellanos. What did you think about one?
Okay, yeah.
What he said before the game, then going out there and basically backing it up.
I'm just not a big believer in talking before the game. Just
update did you see?
I'm just a big believer in encouraging teammates, and then going out and showing it. This all to me, talking and trying to back it up and all that. I mean, that shows. This is just for me. It shows not a lack of immaturity, but just I guess he meant for it to be disrespectful. Just disrespecting an opponent in some form of fashion. But I don't think what he said was like over the top about saving, not being there to save him, which is true.
I mean, he was not able to save them. So now I'm not sure you should have a T-shirt on the website after the game is over, but
I agree.
Wait, he's at the door now. You don't have to deal with it now.
So I mean, we're in this NIL space, and somebody probably was like, "Hey man, let me make a T-shirt for you." And now it's a big deal. So whatever.
Charlie, do you know how much the T-shirts were on the website?
Please don't tell me $10.
No, $31. $31.17.
Yes, I was gonna.
They were $31.17. You can buy a T-shirt. That's about as troll as you can get.
If I'm living in Tallahassee, I'm buying one immediately.
Immediately.
T-shirt too.
$31.17. Yeah. That's high level trolling right there. Mm-hmm. I gotta ask you about this while we got you, because I don't know how long we got you, but I gotta ask you about this. I didn't have high expectations for Bill Belichick. I'm a realist, and I understand this ain't the pros. These kids gonna need some time, and 70 transfers is a lot to turn over into a roster of competitive football. I don't know if I was expecting them to have 41 points scored on them in a row. That kind of surprised me a little bit. What were your thoughts about the debut of Bill Belichick in college football?
Yeah, so I was rooting for the Horned Frogs.
That's where the money went.
Yeah.
No hesitation at all.
Right.
But the one thing that stood out after the game was when they said that they felt disrespected.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I'm working now to caution our guys on, because there will be a lot of hype around the coach per se, because of name recognition, history, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I don't think that was Belichick's fault or issue. It was the people on the outside giving him all the different accolades and attention. And but TCU felt disrespected. Whatever the team needs to do to get up for the game, whatever that may be, they make it happen.
Yeah, manufactured disrespect.
The thing that surprised me, I don't say surprised, because like I said, it's the first game, his first opportunity to coach in college. And I asked my kids this while we were watching the game, like, when was the last time Bill Belichick had a solid team outside of Tom Brady? And so I am still waiting to see him do really well consistently without Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The last time he made the playoffs was like maybe 2 years ago. But that was Brady was in Tampa. what have you. So it still remains to be seen how his team bounces back moving forward because they just didn't look good, even at home. They didn't look like they could tackle well. They were sticking on blocks, and sometimes that is a direct reflection of either guys just doing their job and somebody else not making it happen, um, and or guys aren't just physically able to read the game because when they were giving up power plays and
all night long.
Had a hat on the hat.
Right. Right.
Nobody got off of blocks.
Mm-mm.
Nobody made somebody miss to keep the gaps contained. And it was just that all night. And then offensively, Gio Lopez struggled. First game in ACC, he struggled. Then he went out. Then Max Johnson came in and played well from the standpoint of passing, but he doesn't give you that run threat. So he's a sitting target for any team that's going that has a pass rush. And if he's not able to get the ball out quick, it's going to be tough for them. So
Charlie, I'm laughing because on Monday the conversation came up on our show, The Five, and I said to the guys, I said, well, they advertised Gio Lopez as a dual threat. At what time are they going to add the threat part? Like, because he never threatened ever. Like, they never even called any design run for him to threat. So I'm like, wasn't the whole purpose of putting him in the game that you were going to offset the offense because he could throw and pass and run? There was never any design run. So I'm like, if he's just going to sit back there and just take sacks, then what's the point of having him in there?
To me, it felt like what we saw is what it felt like was going on in New England, and maybe the game's passed Bill by because they still running the same old stuff.
I didn't want to say that, but Charlie, you brought this up. You said he ain't done well since Tom Brady left, and he had a dual threat quarterback by the name of Cam Newton that he never used ever in a dual threat capacity. So I don't know, man. That was wild. Charlie, are you being called to your? Oh, okay. I didn't know if he was being called to his flight or not. I didn't know what was going on.
We're learning a lot about boarding passes this morning.
Listen, right now we're probably the only podcast that is giving out this kind of information. So you're welcome.
Yeah, if you wanted to know about your flight from Tallahassee to Nashville, you're getting all your information.
You are welcome, Podcast America. There you go. Boom.
Take that, Kelsey brother. You got Taylor Swift. We got a flight attendant.
Impressed? I think you should be.
Charlie, going forward for your Seminoles, I mean, they jump all the way up to number 14 because they beat mighty Alabama, who didn't even make the playoff last year. So, I mean, is it an overreaction? I know you always want Florida State to fly under the radar.
I mean, we'll be fine until we go to play. I think Miami, maybe the next game that we may have a tougher team, but these next couple of games will help determine, our mindset from the previous years on if we're going to continue to build off of this win, or we're just going to go through the motions.
Yeah.
I'm just a big believer that the execution will dictate and determine the outcome of the game. And if you're more talented and all those things, you execute at a high level, when you're playing teams that you're supposed to beat, the game should reflect that.
Yeah.
Because of the execution and the detail and the focus and those types of things. And so these next couple of weeks will really show us kind of the mindset of the team, the leadership of the group, and go from there. But I heard Desmond Howard say that there shouldn't be any preseason rankings.
I agree.
I agree wholeheartedly.
You never know what you're going to get, and then you get these big jumps from unranked to 14 in our case, or unranked to 10 because you beat a team in the top 5, initially.
Right.
And so it's just always, you're going off of what happened last year's team for the most part, and what people may have returning. So it's still Miami did look good in the sense of them playing well. Then they allowed Notre Dame, which is another good team, to get back in the game. So they still have some work. Things they need to get done as well to be able to show us that they're going to be contenders, which they're going to be contenders anyway in ACC. But if they're looking for a playoff spot.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the last game? Just real quick as we go through this. Virginia Tech, South Carolina. A lot of people walked away from this game, and Lenore Sellers became overnight sensation in a lot of people's eyes. I think I even heard ESPN Louis Riddick saying, "Man, Lenore Sellers, he might be the best quarterback in the." And I was like, "Settle down." Like he was good, but the best in the nation. I don't know if he was that, but he had a good day against a quality opponent. So I'll give him that. But what were your thoughts on Lenore Sellers in that Virginia Tech game against a Virginia Tech team that is basically Virginia Tech? They did Virginia Tech things.
I was going to say now, when we talk about the game, the type of team they played, is Virginia Tech really one that we would say is
on the road?
Juggernaut? Yeah.
Right.
So yes, they're in the ACC, but I don't know if they're the team that you can say, they're a juggernaut. So he played a well of a game. And Virginia Tech, of course, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that they're not what we would consider a top 10 opponent in a sense. But yes, I think he had a very good game, and he'll continue to play well. I didn't know he was that big.
He's bigger than I thought he was too. I agree with that. Yeah.
And so, but he threw it well. The time that I got a chance to see, he threw it well. Plus he runs well. So he'll be a tough team moving forward in the SEC.
I mean, he played well last year before he got hurt. He got hurt last year.
Yes.
He played really well last year.
That style of play lends for a lot of what if and question mark, because he does run hard. He takes a lot of risk, and against better opponents, that may not get the same result. So we'll see.
He's got the size to do it, though.
He's got good size, though. He does have good size. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward, for those who tune in for his picks, he's going to send in his picks later and let us know who he's picking for this week. But one team we definitely know he's picking is Florida State.
We know he's going to pick the Seminoles this week.
Right.
Even if it's against the Chiefs.
Exactly. It doesn't matter who it's.
Yeah. Got the Rattlers too against FAU.
There you go. So it's all Florida all the time in the Ward household.
Even on the way to Nash Vegas.
All right. Safe travels, my brother. Appreciate you.
Safe travels, Charlie.
All right, Charlie. All right. All right. That is all. That is very fun to do when Charlie is in his Charlie situations, and we're probably gonna give you a lot of that this season. At least through football season, anyway.
Last week we got him filling up his car with gas.
We did several times. He made several stops. I really wanted to ask him about that. I was like, "Why are you?"
It was like every 2 seconds he was stopping and getting out of the car.
I didn't understand that at all, but I couldn't stop and ask him and say, "Hey, man,
are you okay?"
I didn't get that. I was like, "Charlie, what are you doing, man?" Okay. Blink if you're in trouble, Charlie. We couldn't call 911. We're friends and brothers as well. So that was a very strange moment. But anyway, no other podcast is giving you that. So you're welcome. So there you go. The current record. Charlie and Kendrick with 13-3. I went 12-4. I think I gambled on the which one did I gamble on? I think it was the Notre Dame one I gambled on.
Was it?
Yeah. No. It was one game
Charlie gambled on the Florida State. Because when I know
and it worked out. Right. It worked out.
Because I know me and you both picked Alabama in that game.
Yeah. 100%. And I got the LSU, which is what kept me close. Because I think I was the only one that picked that one.
Probably.
But I gambled on something and came up short. So, but I'm only one game off, so it's fine. It'll work. It's going to work itself out. So, all right, week 2. We're going to give you our picks right now, and this will be a flight-free picking.
No boarding passes.
No boarding passes for this particular game. On Friday, we got James Madison, U of L. Should be a better opponent for the University of Louisville, but should be a similar result from last week.
I don't think it will be. I think they're a 15-point favorite. Last week they were like a 30-something point favorite. They covered.
Yeah, that's wild.
Good teams win. Great teams cover.
Great teams cover. Yeah.
I don't think they cover this week. I think they win, but I'm not confident they cover 15-point spread. But I do think they win the game.
I think it's going to be hard for anybody, regardless of how good your team is, to completely shut down Louisville's running game. And that's the difference in every game that Louisville's going to play. So will they cover? I think they will. I think they'll cover. Will they blow them out? Maybe not, but we'll see. Again, I don't know because I don't know how good that defense is or not. Huh?
Said 15.5 is a blowout.
15.5 is deemed a blowout, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But we're both picking Louisville on that. Illinois and Duke. Illinois had a good first week, but I don't know what that means because I don't think they had a quality opponent. Duke had a good first week, but I don't know what that means because they didn't have a quality opponent. I don't know what to think. I can go by the ranking.
Is the fact that this is one of the better games of the weekend lets you know what we have this weekend.
It is. It's Illinois going to Duke too, by the way. They're going to Duke. So,
No, I think I'm gonna go out on the limb and pick the upset.
Picking the upset. Going with Duke.
Yeah.
Boy, the Big Ten would be in a lot of trouble if that happened.
Well, I don't. Part of it too is I don't believe that Illinois is the number 11 team in the country.
In the last 30 years of my life, when has Illinois been the number 11 team of anything? Except for maybe basketball last year.
Yeah, basketball.
Right, last year they were really good. But I'm tempted to go out on that same limb with you. You know what I am? I'm going to do it. I'm going to join you. Duke is the type of team, especially with their new coach, that they're going to be ready, and they may surprise Illinois and show them some stuff they haven't seen before.
They're definitely going to be flying around on defense for Duke. So.
Yes, I agree. Virginia takes on NC State. NC State.
I think I'm going with the Cavaliers.
I was going to say the same thing. I don't.
Based how both of them looked last week.
I don't know what to think about NC State, and I'm not prepared to. Now this would be the game they show up and show out, of course, but I'm not prepared to pick them yet. So they're gonna have to prove it to me.
Right.
Okay. Central Michigan and Pitt.
I'm going with Pitt. I hate. You know how much I hate picking teams against the MAC, but
I was just gonna say I'm gonna go with Pitt, but I got all the reservations. Only reason I'm going with Pitt because this is at Pitt and the weather's probably gonna be awful because it normally is.
But that doesn't matter to Central Michigan. But Pitt was impressive.
It could because Pitt's when it's nasty there, the field gets nasty and it's just an awful environment. That is an awful place to play. But all right, we'll go with Pitt. UConn, Syracuse. We thank UConn for their weekly and yearly contribution to wins in the SEC. So grateful to them for that.
It is wild how many ACC games UConn plays.
It's wild. I don't understand what the delay is. Like, why are we wasting time with them not being in the ACC? Let's just go ahead and make that a yearly thing, and everybody will be grateful until basketball season, and then they can get their lick back. Clemson should get off the schneid.
Yes, Clemson will be fine in that game
against Troy. Gardner Webb, where is that? I don't even know where that is.
I want to say it's in one of the Carolinas because I remember basketball them beating Kentucky.
We looked it up one time, and clearly it had no impact on me whatsoever because I don't remember. But I guess Haynes King will continue to do Haynes King things.
Yeah, Boiling Springs, North Carolina.
Jesus, that sounds like the smallest town on earth.
Boiling.
That sounds like there's one diner, which is next to a fire station. And that's where everybody hangs in the entire town.
It's right by the town square.
Right. That's the hangout spot. Like that's where everybody's at. Okay. We thank Bethune-Cookman.
I don't know how I remember that they're in North Carolina.
I don't either. That may have been the most impressive moment of the entire show.
I think it's because they beat Kentucky in Rupp, so that's why I remember. Yeah.
They're probably still talking about
Bethune-Cookman will win the Battle of the Bands at Miami.
1,000%. Miami has no shot to beat Bethune-Cookman in the Battle of the Bands.
Well, they just stayed in Miami because they played at FIU last week.
It would make sense if just instead of going back to Daytona Beach, it would make sense just to stay there and enjoy the nice weather. And you probably don't get a lot accomplished, but that's not really what the intent is anyway. Because
you're just there to pick up a check anyway,
right? Like, what are we talking about? Like, shout out to all the schools who picked up a check the last couple of weeks because that's how they sustain their programs, and I appreciate them taking that L for that. Now, when the season started, I would have completely picked UNC in this game. I am not so sure now. I'll be honest with you.
Me either.
What is the line on that game, just out of curiosity? 13.5, and it's at Charlotte. I don't know, man.
I don't know either. I don't want to overreact too much to how mad they got stomped.
I don't either, but it was bad. It was bad. It was really bad. Surely Bill's not gonna be bad like that 2 weeks in a row, right? Right?
I don't think so. I think I'll go with North Carolina. It's very tepid.
I first of all, great use of the word tepid. I'm gonna go with North Carolina, but I'm not confident.
Not at all.
Like I don't know. This is, oh man. Can Bill be fired? Can he be fired? Is that
his buyout is ridiculously low.
I don't think he should have to worry about that right now. I think he's fine. Like, no one's buying that. Only people that's going to buy that contract is ESPN at this point. And that's just to bring him in to be a commentator or whatever.
I don't think he'll be fired, but I think if he has a really bad season, I think he'll just hang it up.
And maybe rightfully so. Like, it might be time. Yeah, it might be time. Vanderbilt and Virginia Tech.
What time is this game?
What time? 6:30 in the evening. Or 7:30 your time. And by the way, Virginia Tech, a 1.5 point favorite, meaning they're basically even.
Right. Actually means Vanderbilt's better. I'll go with Vanderbilt because
I was thinking that
their quarterback is back too. The crazy quarterback this year.
This is not your granddaddy's Vanderbilt, is what we're trying to tell you right now.
It's not your older brother's Vanderbilt.
It's not your older brother's Vanderbilt, right? Vanderbilt's gotten better. They have gotten better. Let's see. Boston College at Michigan State. I'm assuming Michigan State is better.
I assume.
That is my assumption. I don't know if that's really true because Boston College had a really great first week. I think they hung 66 up on the team. Is that what it was? There's some ridiculous number like that.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous, but I mean, I'm gonna lean Michigan State.
Yeah.
What did Michigan State do last week?
They won. I don't know who they played, but they won.
Yeah. Michigan State is weird. They're just weird.
They barely won. Well, I go say they barely won. They beat them 23-6, but it was Western Michigan, and I don't know that Western Michigan is the juggernaut. So
it's the MAC.
It's the MAC. Call them the MAC because they got it like that. I'm gonna say that
Michigan State was held to 2 points in the second half.
Give me Boston College on the road.
You know what? I'm with you on that one, brother.
Yeah. Give me Boston College on the road. I have no belief in Michigan State. I don't know how to do that. But shout out to the great Jamel Hill, who I love with all my heart. I mean, she's awesome.
If they got held to 2 points in the second half against that team,
it stands to reason.
It stands to reason that Boston College is going to hold them, and they're going to put up points. Boston College scored 45 points in the second half last week.
Right. So I got to believe Boston College is going to be – and that's a big win for Boston College if they can pull it off. And the ACC as a whole, just on name recognition alone. This is a no-brainer. Florida State should beat Eastern Texas A&M solely on the fact that may not be a real school at all. Anyway.
Bishop Sycamore.
I've lived 50 years and I've never heard of this team. Like, I don't know what we're talking about. I don't even know where it is.
They have to be a newcomer, so
you know what I was thinking? Because and we'll look this up in a little bit, but I think Eastern Texas A&M may be the old Texas Commerce. Possibly. Maybe they've changed the name or something. I just have never heard of this team. I've never heard of them. And I lived in Texas 20 years, so I've never heard of this team. So, just saying, what the hell's going on? Okay, all right. Baylor and SMU is interesting to me.
Yes.
Because I think SMU is better, but Baylor might also be better. Even though they lost week 1, Baylor may be better.
I give SMU the nod because they're at home.
I will give them the nod as well, but I'm going to tell you, they won't have that much of a home field advantage because in Dallas, there are a lot of Baylor fans.
Yeah.
So, and it's not that far. Like, we're talking an hour at best. So, it's going to be an interesting game. I'm curious to see.
That atmosphere is going to be fantastic.
Should be a good atmosphere as well. West Carolina feels a lot like where Shaq played in the movie Blue Chips. So, so I'm going to go with Wake. Although Wake Forest appears not to be good.
I don't have faith in Wake Forest.
They appear not to be good. So I don't know.
If it was East Carolina, I'd definitely go East Carolina.
I would go East Carolina in a heartbeat.
I don't know anything about West Carolina. I'll go with Wake Forest.
I know they lost week 1. That's all I know.
God,
I'm going to go Wake Forest with great trepidation, because Wake Forest put up 10 points last game, right? Was that Wake Forest? Yes. They put up 10 points.
They won 10-9 against second year in the FC.
Oh man, we're going to lose this game, Kendrick. We're going to lose this game. We're going to lose this game. How many? Just out of pure curiosity, how many points did Western Carolina put up in a loss? They put up 45 against Garden Webb. They lost to Garden Webb 52-45. Give me Western Carolina. I'm going Western Carolina.
You know what? I'm gonna follow you.
Are you switching up?
Yes.
Give me Western Carolina. I can't put my stock in a team that scored 10. It just doesn't feel like they figured out.
Because I can't imagine Kennesaw State is that much different than Gardner Webb.
I'm just saying, if you can't figure out your offensive strategies against Kennesaw, it's probably not going to happen against Western Carolina. So, okay, Texas Southern. That's hilarious. Texas Southern and California.
I said it earlier in the show. I think Cal's a lot better than people give them credit for, so I'm gonna go with Cal.
And I'm bringing back the time difference again. I'm bringing that back for this game.
It's only a 2-hour time difference.
Well, listen. It worked last year. It brought me victory last year. I hadn't had a victory since we started this show. So I'm leaning in on. I got to stick with what works, Kendrick.
You would, but not because of that argument.
Probably not. Probably not. That's probably true. That's probably so true. Okay, this is also a tricky one as well, mainly because BYU probably is good. And now I don't know if you can use their first week game as a measurement, because I don't even know the name of the team they play. PRST. I don't even know what that is. What is that? Whoever they played last week, they beat them 69-0. Oh, Portland State. Portland State. They have a team in Portland? Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Clearly Portland State is not getting any money from Nike. So they do not have a Nike deal. 69-0. Geez, that's almost hard to do. 69? Wow, wow. Okay.
BYU in that one.
I'm going BYU as well. I just gotta believe BYU might be, okay. All right. So we're bringing back the BLEAV in the ACC game of the week, because now NFL is back, and we can give you at least some good games to choose from. So this week's choices. There's only one great college game this weekend. It's Michigan versus Oklahoma. And by the way, don't even know if that's going to be a great game. Could be a stinker. We'll see. But that is the game. That's the game, college game day game this week. It's the game
with two ranked teams in
it. Exactly. So it should be interesting. The other games to select from are obviously Dallas and Philly play tonight. So shout out to NFL being back. Chiefs, Chargers in Brazil, which I have a lot of fear of that game for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's the field that's throwing me off.
The field, and then the Chargers, I don't know what they did to Roger Goodell to have to play this game in Brazil, and their next game is on the road too.
They've clearly angered someone, because they don't get to go home for 2-3 weeks, so that's wild.
Brutal. That's brutal.
Yeah, that's wild. Then we got Giants Commanders, which should be an interesting game to see where the Giants are and where the Commanders are. See where they measure those.
I like where your Giants are defensively.
I definitely like that. I'm curious to see the whole experiment that's going on with the Giants this year. This year is a very experimental year for them. And then we close out the BLEAV in the ACC game of the week with, of course, Ravens-Bill, which is the game everybody wants to see this weekend. Yeah. Okay, what game are you picking, Kendrick, as your BLEAV in the ACC game this week?
I think I got to give the people what they want and me pick the Cowboys-Eagles game.
That's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they want. Do you believe in your boys? Do you believe in your boys?
Not really.
This is about loyalty versus reality.
It really, only reason why I give them a shot is because it's the first game of the season. I don't care what level of football it is. The first game of the season, kooky stuff happens.
It does.
Then mix in that all the hoopla that's going to go on in Philly with them raising their banner and all that stuff. And we've seen teams get beat on banner raising day. Remember that year the Bulls just destroyed the Miami Heat?
Destroyed them.
Beat them by like 30.
Yeah, that was an ugly game. I remember that, yeah.
I know people are going to say I'm just being a homer. I'm really not. I just think the circumstances set up for Dallas to pull off an upset. And plus, Dallas is one of those teams, they'll win this game and then we'll turn around and lose to Wake Forest the next week.
Yes, 100%. 100%. 100%.
I'm going to go out on a limb and pick the Cowboys in this game.
Okay. And again, to BLEAV in the ACC game, for those who are not familiar with it, it doesn't cost you anything. It's just an extra game. If you win it, you get an extra point, make up for a loss somewhere else. That's all it is for you. So that's a safe pick. For me, obviously everybody wants me to pick my Giants and Commanders. I also am going to say, here's what people don't understand about the Giants from last year. The defense actually kept them in a lot of games. They just had no offense to be able to capitalize on what the defense was doing. The defense got exponentially better. So I think if ever there was a time to catch the Commanders slipping, it's like you said, that first game. Mm-hmm. And so I think the Giants were going to be very prepared. I think they're going to do just enough. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think they're going to try to win it 17-14, something like that. But I'm also going to go.
I still think that's how the Giants have to win games this year.
100%. I think if the Giants are trying to go out there and put up 30 points a game, they're going to lose every single game. They got to play it smart all season long. So give me the Giants in that one as well. Just out of pure curiosity, who you got? Michigan, Oklahoma. I do a show. Go ahead.
I'm going Michigan because Oklahoma was terrible last year.
I got two Oklahoma guys on the 5 with me now, and they were talking cash crazy. And on that show, I picked Oklahoma just because they made a more convincing argument than the guy that was on there talking Michigan. Shout out to little bro Chad. But if I'm being honest, Michigan's probably going to win. Michigan's probably going to win. Yeah, Michigan's probably going to
win. Ever since Venables has been there, Oklahoma's been bad.
Which is crazy because the defense should be way better. But the Oklahoma got
it's not, and then the offense is as bad as you thought it would be under a defensive coordinator.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see what they do this week, and I think their whole season will be revealed in this game. Because if they can't beat Michigan, who is a primarily running team, and you know what they're going to do. There's no surprise with Michigan. They're going to run. It's going to be Haynes running the ball and Underwood running the ball and maybe a few throws along the way. Mm-hmm. If you can't stop that, it's pretty much over. Like the SEC season is pretty much over at that point. But we'll see. We'll see. And then Chiefs Chargers, I don't know. Why am I betting against Patrick Mahomes? Like,
right.
What is it? How does that make sense?
Right.
Like we did our Super Bowl picks, and I think I picked Ravens, Eagles, and even I said to myself, I'm doing that because I think on paper the Ravens should get back there. They have everything they need.
Ravens have the best team in the league on paper. And
having said all of that, it'll probably be Eagles Chiefs because why are we betting against Patrick Mahomes? I don't know.
I don't have faith that the Eagles will get back.
Really?
No.
Who's your pick?
I don't have one. I just don't have faith that they'll get back 2 years in a row.
Okay. I think honestly that is as fair as anything I've heard because I don't know. The Eagles on paper, I guess they're the same or better. I don't know. We'll see. But
I mean, on paper they are better than everybody in the NFC. I think the Packers are their biggest competition
now, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, if he plays, because I mean, the man has to have an epidural before every game.
Yeah, but they pay that man $120 million guaranteed. He's playing.
The further as upset as I was when this trade first went down, the further out we get from it, I'm like, man, Jerry made us pull something over on them. We ain't heard nothing about that back injury until right before he got traded. And
let me say
it's bad.
Well, let me say this. If it is bad, then the Packers are idiots, and that will bear out. Because that Jerry dodged the bullet. Jerry would love in a morbid, dark universe, parallel multiverse, Marvel style. He would love for that to be true. We'll see. But on paper, the Packers look like the most logical. The only other team that I think is equally as competitive to this moment is probably the Chargers. I mean, not the Chargers. I'm sorry, the Rams. But
the Rams are interesting because of Stafford's injury.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. But do you believe in that back? That back hasn't played all preseason. That back has taken no contact whatsoever since last season. And that back is 37.
Right. But that back also has Devontae Adams to throw the ball to.
That back has a great receiving core and a solid running game and an amazing defense that is emerging.
Yeah.
So
the Rams should have won that game in Philly last year.
They should have won that game in Philly last year. So they're an interesting team.
What do you think about the Lions? Do you think they regress?
Don't they have to a little bit, at least in the beginning of the season?
Yeah, when you lose both coordinators.
And, I mean, top shelf coordinators.
Yeah.
So I think a little bit, maybe, a little bit. I'm curious to see what they do week one. By the way, what is the week one game that you are the most interested in? Is it Ravens-Bills? Because I know everybody wants to see that. That's Sunday night. It's going to be amazing.
Of course. And
yeah.
Especially because Jair came back to town last week.
Shout out to Jair. Shout out to Jair Alexander, Louisville legend.
And he was every bit of Jair. My second most.
Was he talking cash crazy? Was he talking cash crazy about his Ravens?
No, he's just crazy in general. Oh, real quick, you asked
that is also true.
Other game I'm excited about that. Detroit at Green Bay. But
okay.
But so, if you've never been to a Louisville game, they always have an alumni back, and they have this giant button that they push. Smoke comes out, and the air horns go off, and it's all to hype the crowd up. Well,
it's a whole thing.
Yeah, so that was Jair's job on Saturday. Jair being Jair, first they kept trying to get him to hit the button, and he's getting the crowd hype. He's got his back totally turned to the people.
Right.
Then he does it, and usually they just hit it once, maybe twice. Jair just keeps pushing it, and then eventually jumps on it and just doing elbow drops on it.
That's on brand.
He gets done, and I walked up to him, gave him a hug. I said, please don't ever change.
Don't ever change. Don't ever change. Be you always.
Yes.
That's on brand.
At this point, he's almost 30, so yeah, he's not changing.
And by the way, I made a prediction And obviously the easy prediction for defensive player of the year is Micah Parsons playing with vengeance, playing with, that's an easy prediction. Or Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett honestly is always the prediction.
He's always the prediction. He's always the prediction. But I had another prediction. If Jair can be Jair again, Kyle Hamilton might be the sneaky defensive player.
Because Jair he has injury prone. He is injury prone.
He does. Yeah.
I think Hamilton is. I mean, he's by far the best safety in the league. He can make even if Jair is hampered with injuries. I think Hamilton's going to be right there at the end for defensive player of the year.
In that Ravens team scope, to me, the most interesting thing about what they're bringing this year, how good is that secondary going to be? Because on paper, it looks as close to shutdown as you can get.
Yeah.
And if that's true, and by the way, if they go out and blow the Bills out, or they shut down that passing game, which, by the way, is not out of the realm of possibility. There's no receiver on the Bills that you're terrified of.
Right.
So if they can slow that offense down,
and you're getting them first game of the season, so it's not going to be crazy weather in Buffalo. So, I'm picking Baltimore in that game. So I think they blew them out. Didn't they blow out Buffalo last year in the regular season?
They got them first game. Yeah, they got them last year. So yeah. I'm just very curious about that game. I'm curious about these Ravens. If they can be what on paper it looks like they are, just saying. I'm just saying, people.
That atmosphere in Buffalo is going to be great. The last season in the old stadium, it's going to be crazy up there.
It's going to be a wild game. Going to be a wild game. Before we go, that's our new segment as we close. Shout outs and before we go. Shout out to our media brethren Pablo Torre for breaking a weird story.
Pablo Torre finds out it's so the show, if you've never watched it, this show will break amazing stories like this Kawhi Leonard thing. But then they'll also have stupid stuff on there. It's just goofy.
It's the best of both worlds. It's the best of both worlds.
Yes.
But let me say something in defense of Pablo. Because I love Pablo. And I think you as well. Yeah.
Everybody Pablo.
He's no idiot.
No. He's a Harvard
grad. He's a Harvard grad. So as much as I understand what the Clippers did and Steve Ballmer said, I get the statement. There's no other statement they can make. He's not an idiot. So he got it from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know about the source because we've all had sources and some of them are solid and some of them turn out to be. It's hard for me to believe Pablo and /ESPN did not do due diligence in this story.
Oh, it's legal stuff that comes into that.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's very difficult.
It's like this stuff it goes through so many legal ramifications before they release this stuff. It's been totally vetted.
So the reason why I bring that up is because I need people to understand our side of the business. There's stuff we hear all the time about everything and everybody. I rarely will break a story because, one, I'm just not in position like I used to be able to run a story down like I want to. So I don't talk about a lot of stuff I hear. But I know I'm just saying, there's going to be an investigation. The truth is going to come out. Pay attention to Uncle Dennis.
Yes.
And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Uncle Dennis is the shady character. He's the World Wide West of NBA basketball.
I'm just saying.
By the way, did you see World Wide West at the Miami Notre Dame game?
I did not. What, was he on the sideline?
Randomly in a picture.
Listen. I would love to do a World Wide West movie. Because if people understood
the character that he is,
Oh my God!
And on top of it, as mysterious as he is, he's just nice as a nicer person you would meet.
One of the nicest. I don't even know what to call him. Executives or.
Well, technically, he is an executive now for the Knicks, but
right. Technically, now he is an actual executive. Before that, I'm not sure what he did, but he controlled all of basketball.
Because he doesn't.
Right. Right. But he controlled all of basketball. Let me just be very clear. But when I met him, he was phenomenal. He lived up to everything that I hoped he would be, and he surpassed it. And I have one of the greatest World Wide West stories that I won't tell on air, but it's one of the greatest stories ever. It's phenomenal.
I've had Grand Marnier with World Wide West at Memphis.
Right. So we know firsthand what we speak of. He's amazing. I love World Wide West. Okay. So, but anyway, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I know the Clipper organization said that the story was they used the word absurd. And I am saying to you, our viewers, we know Pablo Torre. He's not built that way. No. He's an old school Harvard graduate journalist. He got it.
He's super intelligent.
He probably he probably took a year.
Probably longer than that.
Maybe longer than that. To vet this story. I guarantee it. He got it. And y'all, Clippers organization may not. You know what I thought? I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday about this. I think the smart thing for the Clippers to do is there's a couple of things. Number one, leave Los Angeles. It's not working. If ever there was a situation that's not working, it's not working. You're never going to be relevant in that town ever. I don't care how good that state. And that, by the way, the new place is phenomenal. The Intuit is maybe the best we've ever seen in the history of basketball arenas.
Yep.
And yet, you're never going to be what you want. It's in that town. It's just not going to happen. Or here's the other suggestion: change the name and get the stink of all that Clipper is off of you once and for all. My point is you got to cleanse that organization of all that it has ever been for it to become something.
They need to swim in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Maybe go swim in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Even though it's where the Lakers came from, so I don't know if that'll work either.
Well, actually, it did work for the Lakers.
But you still have the same Lakers stench on you.
You're gonna have the Lakers stench on you. They got it because every time you think about the Clippers, it's always them doing something Clippery. Always. My whole life, they've done Clippery things. I've never seen, and even when they're close to success, they're not really close.
Nope.
It's just, I don't know. To me, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And the analogy I gave my friend that called me yesterday was, they've put lipstick on this pig. They've put makeup on it. They've given it a dress. The only thing to do now is to slaughter it and make bacon. That's the only thing left to do. Stop trying to make this pig look good. Just kill it and start over. Do something different. Because everybody loves bacon.
You know how I feel about bacon.
Everybody loves bacon. Nobody loves pigs at all. And I say that wearing an Arkansas hat. So there you go.
Literally have a pig on your hat.
Literally have a Razorback on my hat right now. So, okay, all right. I just wanted to get that out. But I love Pablo, and I not that he needed our defense, but I just know, I know the guy. I'm familiar with the man and his work.
Yeah.
He got it. He got the story.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
I'd say one of the biggest mistakes ESPN made was canceling his show with Bomani.
Oh, yeah, because
it almost was too smart for the audience, and I guess I get it, but it was an incredibly intelligent and funny show.
Had they given them time, they would have become the new Tony Kornheiser,
yes.
Michael Wilbon.
Yes.
Easily.
Yes.
Brilliant. Two very brilliant men. So anyway, okay, that's that. I just wanted to get that was just something for me. Hopefully you enjoyed that. But I love those guys. They're our guys, and so I just wanted to. If you think he don't have it, you don't understand how journalism works. He got it for sure, for sure. Yeah. So anyway, all right. You got any shout outs?
Let's see. Shout outs. I'll shout out my boy. He's the next thing coming. He's just it's Trinity High School in general, just because of what they accomplished in the first 2 weeks of the season. They've returned the opening kickoff of the game in both games with two different people.
Wow.
I mean,
the opening kickoff?
Opening kickoff in week 1 and 2, brought back for a touchdown by two different people.
I'm trying to think if I ever heard of that.
I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of that on any level, like on any level of football. I've never.
Right. It's like this is a national show, so I try to avoid from bringing up high school stuff here. But
that's cool. That's dope. Yeah, that's dope. That is very dope. Yeah,
back-to-back national kickoff returns by two different people.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that.
I've got a feeling that whoever they play this week is going to kick the ball out of bounds.
100%. There will not be a third. I can promise. Matter of fact, they may not get another one this season.
Actually, you know what? They might, because they're playing a team arrogant enough to do it. They're playing at Cincinnati Mola.
That is true. They're
arrogant enough to do it.
Keep me posted on that. I really like to know that. Speaking of kickoffs, just not to interrupt your shout outs, but just speaking of kickoffs, shout out to Devin Hester Jr. Did you hear about this? Ran one back.
And where is he at?
I forget where he's at, but he ran one back, and I was like, well, that's on brand. Like,
and we're old.
I would imagine, God, yes, because Devin Hester Jr. is now a thing. Like, he's playing football or college football, but that's him. Listen, that's on brand.
Yeah,
that is on brand. He just picked up the family business. Was like, Dad, I'll do it now.
Literally the family business.
Who is the most successful junior of all time? Is it Vladimir Guerrero Jr.?
Ken Griffey.
Ken Griffey Jr. Sammy Davis Jr. That was well played, sir. Oh my God, that was well played. I was thinking Ken Norton Jr.
I think it's got to be Griffin.
Griff's a Hall of Famer.
Athletically, it's got to be Griffin.
Griff's a Hall of Famer. I would think Vlad Guerrero Jr. is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but the impact Griffey had on the sport.
The impact's great on Griff, for sure. 100%.
I mean, he was
100%.
He was arguably the best. At one point, he was the best player in baseball. I don't know if we can ever say that about Guerrero Jr.
He had a run.
But
yeah, I wouldn't call him I wouldn't call him the best in baseball, but he had a run. He was headed in that direction, and then something has happened. I don't know what has happened, but it's not what it was.
In Toronto for one.
Well, that doesn't help. By the way, greatest line that I've heard. We're all over the place right now. Listen, this is what we do. Just deal with it. Greatest line I've heard all week in discussing Drake, because he did a weird interview the other day. It was very weird. Laying in bed with some social media girl. And I was like, it was very weird. The conversation was weird. The atmosphere was weird. And one of the guys that I was talking to, he said, dude, you got to stop. He's from Canada. And I said, that actually makes sense what you just said, because his sensibilities to the things that they don't make sense to what we understand American hip hop to be at all. So, yeah, I get it now. That might be my explanation going forward. He's an actor from Canada. There you go. All right.
I have another shout out because we got on Major League Baseball.
Talk to me.
Shout out to Louisville native Joe Adele of the Anaheim Angels. Last night, 4 for 4, with a home run for his third straight game with a home run. He's hit
Nice.
33 homers on the season. He's having career highs in every stat for him this year. And if you see the guy, you would never believe he was a baseball. You would think he was a wide receiver in the NFL. I did.
Is he yeah.
When he was in high school, his senior year in high school, I did a whole story with him. I did a story with him when he first came back when he was still in the minors. And yeah, this season he's hit 33 homers, has 90 RBI, and has career highs in just about everything.
Cha-ching. Cha-ching. That's what we call that.
Yeah.
Cha-ching.
Wow.
A melancholy shout out to the passing of Giorgio Armani.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he was still with us.
I didn't even know that at all. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but
no, not at all.
Didn't even know he was still alive. So, but yes, he has passed at the beautiful age of 91, and we send our thoughts and prayers to he and his family. Wow, yes. That's wow, Giorgio Armani. I didn't. That's wow.
That's wow.
All right, at some point we got to go.
Yeah,
but listen, this is what you get all season from us. We're going to laugh. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have Charlie in an airport somewhere. It's going to be a great time.
Show's going to be a little bit more unhinged than usual.
But that might be the beauty of it all. If we're being honest, it might be the beauty of it all. Yes. So you guys have a wonderful and look at Al Brown. Shout out to Al Brown flexing a little bit. Former Bruin.
Yes, he is a former Bruin.
Former Bruin. And that's an humble flex for the Ballard High School alums out there, of which we know many. There are many more than you might imagine out there.
Al Houston,
Charlie's buddy Al. Seriously, what was Charlie doing at that gas station? We got to have a conversation about that.
We have to. Next week.
We got to come back to that. We got to go back to that for sure. Okay, y'all have a great one. Enjoy football all weekend long. It's going to be phenomenal. The NFL's back. College football is for sure back. It's going to be great. BLEAV in the ACC. We're out of here.